Welcome to Metropolitan Community College. We're here on the Fort Omaha campus in our barnyard next to our small apiary. My name's Tyler Magnuson. I am the Horticultural Operations Specialist and Culinary Liaison here at MCC. And I've been working in this job for 3 years taking care of the bees, and have had some experience in my life with bees before that. And I'm really excited to kind of walk through what we're going to do here today with these supplies and tools.
I'm Shannon Kyler. I am the Community Engagement Coordinator over at City Sprouts. I've been the beekeeper there for the last 3 years. And my experience is beekeeping there, kind of learning on the job. Yeah, I love bees. I'm excited to talk about the supplies and equipment you need to get started beekeeping, and also some of the additional supplies you can use to expand your apiary and the things you're doing with your bees.
Cool. We're going to start by just going through a basic Langstroth hive and talking about the essential components. We're going to go from the top down. So starting with a honey super. These are smaller hive parts that contain shallower or less deep frames in them that are mainly used for harvesting honey. And these are going on in the summer, later in the summer, when the bees have filled up the main hive body, and are kind of used as a put on, fill up with honey, take off and put on another empty one, is kind of the process that works throughout the summer as you're managing honey flow. Another thing you can use in your hive is a queen excluder. So it's a narrow barred metal frame that is small enough to allow the worker bees up into the hive, but not the queen, because the queen's significantly bigger than the worker bees. We don't use this a whole lot here at Metro. Do you use one of these at
Not really.
City Sprouts? Just because the queen, once you give the queen enough space, it's pretty reliable. It's going to be down in the main hive body and not need to move up. If you do experience a situation where you're seeing eggs laid in your kind of honey supers, that's maybe a situation where you'd want to use one of these. They're also known to be a little hard on the worker bees, that like passing through this small space can be contribute to lessening their lifespan, actually, and kind of wearing down their wings more. Next we get down to the main hive body. That is almost twice as deep as the honey super, and in it we have our main frames. These are darker because they have had an egg laid in them and a larva is developed in them. It's a sign of older wax foundation. And so we're working with a 10 hive body. There are also 8 hive bodies, 8 frame hive bodies, I should say. And so we would fit 10 frames in here, and those would be the ones that you would see a lot of pollen storage in, some honey storage, and mainly a lot of laid eggs or developing larvae. In front of the hive body, sometimes you'll see this kind of wooden slat. This is a
Entrance excluder?
Yeah, entrance excluder. It has 2 different sizes, so it'll slide in here and either allow this many bees to enter, or like that much space, or you can make it even smaller, so you'd have that much space. This is used like in the spring when you're first introducing bees into a hive, and to kind of keep them in there more, I will say, like make them stay at home, so they don't, once you're introducing them, they don't be like, well, actually, we want to find a better place. You can also use it in the fall to cut down on the drafts that are coming through the hive. And eventually in winter, you can actually turn it so it plugs the hive up totally, so nothing gets through. Other times I've used this is if I've seen one hive coming in and trying to rob another hive, like a hive isn't as strong and can't kind of fight back all the bees that are coming in. So I'll make a smaller space so that that hive can kind of defend its entrance a little better. So that's a entrance excluder. In front of that, in the deep of winter, you can put on one of these metal frames, which essentially is to stop small rodents from tunneling and making a winter home in the hive. I don't know if it's technically called a mouse excluder, but I use it to exclude mouse.
Mouse guard?
Mouse
maybe?
guard sounds like a good term. So it has a space that a bee can go through, but not a mouse, and a mouse can't chew through it. So this just gets nailed in front of the hive right down there.
And mice want to come in your hive in the wintertime because it's warm and cozy and there's honey in there
filled with honey.
and all of that. So it's
Yep.
great.
So
Thanks.
underneath our Mave Hive body, we just have our bottom screen board. You can have solid boards or screen boards. We like to use screen here because it allows for a lot of kind of ventilation and helps dehumidify the hive. One of our biggest problems here at Metro is hives that get too much moisture in them in the winter, and then we lose the bees to disease. And so having that screen on the bottom kind of allows for airflow to move up through the hive and the bees to kind of naturally fan it out as well. Another cool thing about having a screened board on the bottom is that you can also monitor, it's kind of like a pest control mechanism, that any pests that are in your hive that the bees are kind of naturally cleaning off themselves or cleaning out will fall through the screen and onto the ground and not kind of be contained and be able to reinfest that hive as easily. And so those are kind of the main pieces in a hive. Obviously you're gonna have a top that we've looked at in other videos. But those are the essential pieces you need to just get to put bees in your hive and to start rolling in the spring.